I am now joined by the lovely, the beautiful, the admin of this tournament at Padrino himself. Welcome, Darky.
This is the first time someone has called me beautiful.
Really?
How are you, live? How are you, chat? How have you been enjoying this tournament so far?
Oh god, you're lovely, Darky. You're lovely. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. There's been a couple of upsets, mate. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, they haven't. Even since the first round.
The first round?
Yes,
Okay.
in the first round, I saw James Baxter versus Ares.
Mm-hmm.
And James Baxter won. That's an upset for me, mate.
Oh no, 100%. That's an upset, mate. He's putting that that raffle money to good use. He's been practicing. Oh god. But thank you so much for joining me, Dad King. Of course, for those wondering, he's the admin of this tournament, and he always joins me whenever he can to help cast like semis onwards. And now we are diving into our first semifinals.
Yes, everything for money.
What?
Anyhow, welcome everyone to the first map in this best of 3 series, and starting here in the top left-hand corner of the map, the Brazilian Protoss player for eGGz Gaming, it is Shakti.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade ALE, we have the Colombian Zerg player making his return to the competitive scene. Honestly, having a very impressive run so far. Can he keep going? He's representing his new team, CSO Esports. It is eGGz. El Capullo himself.
Yeah, I don't like him when you call him Capullo.
El Envuelto.
That's better. Did you know that Capullo is actually an insult in some countries?
Oh, really?
Yes, it's like it's not a very nice word to say to someone.
We didn't know. No one said anything.
Dude, I have told you like 3 times before.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. We'll stick with El Huevito. El Envuelto.
El envuelto. Yeah, the return of X finally. He took out Paco Mike in the round of 16, so he's in pretty good shape, I will say. And make Shakti took out Carrick.
Yeah. Both of these guys with upsets of their own, right? Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast to see what happened. I imagine eGGz cheesed out Pocket Mike. We know how.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
Look. It's a combination of things. We know how bad Pocket Mike can be when it comes to defending aggression. And eGGz can be a very aggressive player as well. That's kind of how I imagine that played out. I can't imagine Pocket Mike got into like Sky Toss, against him. Like that'd be crazy. If eGGz beat that. But we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, here he has another Protoss player on his way, so and he's going for Sky Toss. So we'll see how good his versus Sky Toss play is.
Yeah. I think the cool thing about this series is that both of these players caused upsets, right? Like eGGz beat Pocket Mike and Shakti beat Eric. So, now we get to see how they play against each other. And we get to maybe get a glimpse of how they were able to perform in their previous series.
Definitely. The one I'm most interested right now. Well, I mean, both players are really interested because Shakti has been doing pretty good lately. He didn't qualify for DreamHack, did he? No, he didn't. He was one set away. But he did pretty good in the DreamHack qualifiers. He obviously is already in the Executor tournament that is going to be starting next week. And make I kind of want to see the replays of Shakti versus Eric just to see how it happened.
Yeah, definitely. Like, to be fair, like I know Eric, he probably wasn't, taking it. I'm sure right now he's focusing on his EVT. He's had like maybe a week to prepare. He's currently in the playoffs for DreamHack, and he's set to play against Kelazur in like 2 days. So that's going to be very intense. But for him to lose to Shakti, like, as you said, that's very impressive. We'll see if Shakti can go all the way, because right now there are only Zerg players left in this tournament. Other than Shakti.
Yeah. We have returned to the old days of Latin America CVC.
I'm happy about that. Very happy. It's been a long time since we've had like eGGz in a semifinals. Like it's great to see him back. I know he's been streaming a lot more StarCraft recently. I don't know how seriously he's taking it. Maybe his performance in DreamHack maybe kind of shook him a little bit, and he's like, you know what? Like maybe he gets that competitive drive back. And I would love to see him return, because again, eGGz was very scary last year. That was last year though. You know, is this the beginning of his return?
I hope so. We need more good players, especially from other countries other than Mexico, Peru, and Brazil.
Yeah.
So more variety in our life is always good.
Definitely.
Oh God, Shakti almost losing that Void Ray. That was not a good start for him.
Oh God, not at all. Thankfully, Shakti did keep the Void Ray alive. Shakti, he's opening up very standard here. He opened up with a couple of Void Rays, and it looks like he wants to go into Disruptors. And that would be great against a Roach Ravager Queen push, but mate, that's not what's happening.
Yes, X is pulling a Jim Rising here. The question is he going for Mutalis or is he going for Corruptors?
It's got to be Mutas, right? Like, going for a big Muta switch?
I mean, does he have really? I mean, he's building Roaches along with it.
He is. Oh my God, the Void Ray does get picked off. And
Yes.
There is definitely a place for Corruptors, but because it wasn't double Stargate, I do think it would be a mistake to go Corruptors, because there isn't that much in the sky. Mutas could just straight up end the game, and mate, they're on the way.
Yeah, there we go. It is Mutalist indeed. I believe Shakti has not seen this fire, right?
He has not, mate.
No, so he's going to be very surprised when 10 Mutalists are going to show up to his base and all he has are 3 Void Rays.
Yeah, like this is what it comes down to. Shakti needed to scout, and he hasn't been scouting. He doesn't have any like sentries to hallucinated scout or anything like that. Like typically Shakti is a very greedy player in that respect, where he doesn't have any gateway units, and he may just die because of it. It's oh God, there's no other way to put it.
Well, Mutalists are spawning right now, so we're going to see in the next 2 minutes how long can Shakti survive.
Pretty much. He may be forced to recall back home. The Mutas are about to show up here in the main base. There are a lot of gateways, so he can warp in, but there's no blink, there's no +1.
There's no shield battery here as well. A few Stalkers have been warping to help against these Mutalists, but there's a lot of Mutalists. 4 Stalkers is not going to be near enough.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, we do have a bit of a Ling run by here. The Void Rays are forced to defend the third base, which they will eventually, but these Mutas, they're just wreaking havoc in the main.
26 workers down so far, and more are dying. And Shakti's falling apart.
Yeah, that's it. GG, well played. I wouldn't be surprised if one of Paco Mike versus eGGz game turned out just like that.
Nice job. I don't know if I should congratulate eGGz on the nice build chosen or to chastise Shakti for not scouting.
A bit of both. A healthy amount of both, because that was a nice build by eGGz, and usually what we see is it gets scouted, and then the Protoss player switches into Phoenixes, gets blink on their Stalkers, throws down like a shield battery and a cannon in each of their mineral lines, and the game goes on, right? But Shakti, again, just very light with his scouting, in more ways than one. Like, yeah.
Well, he needs to do better in game number 2, because this is a best of 3 line and he's already done 1 game.
Yeah. This is not looking good for Shakti, man. Oh God. Especially depending on what the next map is. Like, yo, if we end up on like Jagannath and we see like a 12 pull like a 12 pull from eGGz, like, oh God.
I will be very surprised if Jagannatha escaped the ban list.
True. God.
Yeah, it is. Wait.
Mates, Shakti, come on.
Yes, to everyone in the chat, if you're ever playing in a tournament, make all your lobbies with GameHack, regardless if there is a caster or not. It's just helpful.
Oh, here we go. We're diving in. Oh my god, what? Apparently, For Sure's in the chat made a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich with Greek yogurt. Is that a thing in Mexico?
Wait, what? Grilled what?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but it's grilled.
Sure, why not? It's uncommon, but I mean, for starters, peanut butter and jelly sandwich is not really a popular thing here in Mexico.
Same here.
I do not know anyone who has eaten this here.
Yeah.
No, and if anyone does, it's probably like an American who lives in Mexico.
Yeah. It does sound like a very American thing. Like, fun fact.
But I mean, grill, sure. I can see grill. We can grill sandwiches over here.
Yeah. Fun fact, here in Australia, like, same thing. Like, peanut butter and jelly is like what we hear like on like American movies and media and stuff. Like, it's not a thing here at all. Well, for one thing, we don't call it jelly. It's marmalade.
It does not exist. It only exists in movies.
Yeah.
Anyhow, welcome everyone. Map number 2 in the Best of 3 series, and starting here, Thousand Atmospheres, the Blue Protoss player who needs to win 2 games in a row. This is Shakti.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres, LE, we have the Colombian Zerg. He's red, representing CSO Esports. It is eGGz.
Game number 2, does eGGz play safe or does eGGz try to go for an early aggression?
That's a good question.
He's already up 1 game. You know, and he has wiggle room to do something cheeky in this game.
He does. For me, maybe it's because of my perception of eGGz and the fact that he hasn't been back for that long. I doubt whatever he does. I don't think it's gonna be like completely standard. You know, like I do think that we're gonna see like either a 2 base aggression or 3 base aggression or like another Spire or something. I don't know if eGGz is one of the players who wants to even go to the late game against Protoss, right? Like,
good question. I actually do not know what his stance in late game CVP is. You know, there are some players who really dislike playing against the Golden Armada in the late game. I don't know if you saw the chat before the tournament. One of the players who was complaining about it was Ek, the Argentinian Zerg.
Yeah.
No, he was disgusted by playing in late game with Void Rays and Carriers and Storm and Disruptors.
Yeah, like I always talk about this with Yahoo when we cast ESL Asia. Another player who famously hates Skytoss is Solar. And whenever Solar plays against like Zest or Trap or anything, he does whatever he can to end the game early. Whatever he can. It's like, you know, Hydra timings or like Queen Roach Ravager pushes or like some corrupt whatever he can to just end it early. And yeah, there are just some players like that. For eGGz, I have no idea, you know. And on the other side of things, there are players like say Ryu. Ryu often goes to the late game. I don't think it's like the best thing for him to do, but he does do it quite often. So yeah, we'll see what eGGz has in store for us against Stargate again.
Sure. So far, pretty standard for the player. Shakti opening a game correctly with a with the Stargate. From now on, every time that I see a Protoss Therinos opening Stargate against Zerg, I know he's doing something wrong. You know, like you have plastic enough, or you're underestimating your opponent, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, this is interesting. eGGz has a Baneling Nest in progress.
Yes. This is a very fast Baneling Nest. This is not normal whatsoever. eGGz is going for a Bane bust. We have a wave of Lings already on the way, and this is scary because Shakti, he has no idea. He went for a probe scout earlier. He doesn't have anything out on the map. He's not going to know that this is coming. He needs to scout. Ooh. Oh no, he's going for a third. Mate.
Look, and EXO that Shakti is going for the third, so he can see perfectly now in what a good position eGGz is.
Mate, Warp Gate isn't even done. He can't even plug up the wall. This is over, mate. The Banelings come in.
And this is an Artosis pylon as well. And the Banelings in the middle line.
Oh my god, the Banelings connect, everything in the middle line goes down, the wall is still not a wall. Oh, finally he does plug it up, but mate, there's just so much here, and he's trying to take down the other pylon.
Oh god, this is a disaster for Shakti. 20 workers dead so far, 19 workers dead. I mean, locally for Shakti, eGGz didn't win all in. He's droning behind this, but mate, what a good position eGGz has arrived.
Exactly. I think the only silver lining is that despite the damage that eGGz did, like, they're pretty even in worker count, right? It goes to show like how committed eGGz was to the attack. Oh my god, Shakti, please don't lose the cyber core. Oh god.
More radios are coming, but there are no workers here. Is he just going to go for the pylon? Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, I think this was a little bit too much from eGGz. Like, as we saw, he invested a little bit there and he didn't really get anything for it. Like, mate, go back go back home at this point. Oh my god, more Lings actually coming across the map.
eGGz not stopping.
Yeah.
He smells blood in the water.
Is it blood or is it jelly? I don't know. I don't think this is the right move. Like, he's coming in and he got one probe? Not even.
Yeah, that was a good positioning from Shakti with his adept over there and the shield battery. He didn't lose a single unit. So good for him, but now the question is, what does eGGz do and what does Shakti do? And apparently the answer for Shakti is going for another Stargate.
Yes. And I personally, I think that's the right call. It feels bad, man. He has to kill this pylon. But I love going into double Stargate right now because eGGz, his lair is late. He doesn't really have a lot of queens either. Like, there's not that much anti-air. I think Shakti should feel safe to commit to a double Stargate and like just, you know, work on his economy. Oh my god.
Oh, another building run by. It didn't get into the base, but it got the core, which is super important when you're going A Protoss, because A, you need for Stalkers and Adepts, and B, you usually use it pretty often in this matchup for the upgrades for the air units.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that will delay a lot of those upgrades. I'm also surprised, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, that Shakti isn't going for Mass Void Ray, but he's going for Phoenixes instead.
He's afraid from the last game, apparently.
Oh god, right? Meanwhile, oh god, a little bathing run by it. It looks like it will connect.
Only 4 props though. Only 4 props for like, what was it, 4 or 5 Banelings? So definitely not worth it. In fact, Shakti is actually up in supply. Like, he has been defending very good after this attack that eGGz has been doing.
Yeah, like, again, despite all the aggression from eggs, Shakti actually maintained a worker lead throughout all of that, which goes to show how much damage eggs had to deal earlier. I am really concerned about these Phoenixes. As you said, they would hard counter Mutas, but we have Hydras on the way. Hydras, they want to fight against Phoenixes, at least in high enough numbers.
I assume that Shakti does not know about the Hydra then.
Oh yeah, he has no idea.
Oh god, is he going to get hard counter again?
Oh god, he sees the Hydras now. Ay. What are these what do they do? What can they do?
Pick off workers. That's basically all they can do. And meanwhile, try to save them to in the late game to serve as support units to pick up. Oh, Batstar already losing one Phoenix over there.
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing right now is eggs. He's got 3 bases. Like, he doesn't have to split up his army that much. He has plenty of queens and hydras to do so, to cover every single mineral line. And already one Phoenix goes down, the second one almost gets picked off.
And Shakti going in panic mode. He's going for the double robot now, trying to switch tech as fast as possible. Which, I mean, he can do. He has enough economy and enough defenses that he probably won't die to whatever push X is going to do in the next minute. So if he's going to transition, he needs to do it now.
Yeah.
With his Phoenixes.
It's one of those things where Shakti has like a really great economy, but he just hasn't been spending it well. Like, again, like these Phoenixes just haven't done it. Like, look how much money invested in these Phoenixes. Like, he needs to do something. One Hydra. This okay. A queen. Not even.
I mean, I'm gonna say that he has been using them as good as he could, seeing the position that he is in, because he has bought a lot of time.
True.
X has not moved some things out of the map, which is going to take a lot of time to look. He's now doing double Colossus at a time. He's doing the +1 attack and the range of the Colossus, and he's doing a bunch of gateways. Which, if those finishes were not on the side of the map, X could have just walk to the other side and kill Shakti in the spot.
Yes, and there is value to be had in buying all of this time. Like, without this, as you said, eggs would have just ended the game. To be fair, if these Phoenixes weren't made, it's possible that Shakti would have had an army that would have had a better chance against the Hydras, but they're still serving a purpose, and I do think that is definitely a good thing here for Shakti. And he's even forced Infestors out, which I don't think is the best unit here for eggs. Like, this is good against Phoenixes because he can lock them down, but against Colossus, like, oh my god, Shakti, please!
4 Phoenixes went down for free over there. 4 light.
Yeah. So what was that about him, like, using the Phoenix as well? And
look, everyone falls every now and again. Okay, so as long as he hex back up, he's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Look, he's still got 6 Phoenixes. He can pick up a couple of the Hydras. More importantly, 4 Colossus. That's a lot of Colossus. I hope he doesn't neglect the ground army, because again, you still need a buffer for your Colossus. Otherwise, if the Hydras get on top of them, they're just gonna die immediately. So he does have to be careful there.
Here comes X. He's going for the big push.
Oh yeah. Here we go. The defenses are not set up immediately. Eggs dives on top of the Nexus.
He managed to cancel it, and he just returns. He says he sees the army. He knows he cannot fight straight, and he goes away. And meanwhile, Baneling's trying to sneak into the base of Shakti. Shakti has a really big ball over there. Oh, nice fungals of the Void Rays.
Yeah, the Void Rays.
The Void Rays going down there.
The Void Ray count basically being reset. You could argue that, I mean, Shakti was kind of done with them for now. I do love the switch into the ground army so far. He even warped in High Templars like beforehand, slowly gathering that energy for Storm. Storm is almost done. Charge is finishing up. A ground army like this is going to do so well, especially because eggs, even though he went Hydras, he didn't go for a Lurker Den. Without Lurkers, it will be a little bit difficult to deal with this army.
Interesting for X. His answer to this army is a greater Spire Light. Tell me, do you like it?
I kind of like it. It's one of those things where, to really get into Broodlords, you need to slowly transition your army, right? Because first you need Corruptors, and then the Corruptors needs to be morphed into the Broodlords. And eGGz is maxed out. Like, he needs to trade his army to make enough Corruptors, because he only has 2 on the way.
It's okay, he has time. He has a lot of banelings that he needs to throw away. He got some of them. But they got spotted. They got spotted. The question is, did Shakti actually spot them?
Oh. Bailey still got in, but, you know, not too much damage. Didn't kill any workers, I believe. So nicely done there by Shakti. At the same time, he tried to push in. He does have an observer, so he can clear out some of this creep. And we have more Corruptors on the way, mate.
Yeah, Bloodlust are coming any second now. We're going for the really late PvZ here.
Luckily for eGGz, it isn't against Skytoss.
I mean, you say that, and there's a free beacon on the way, so...
The transition is coming. It is coming. And again, there's a lot of storms here with this army. Oh.
Goodbye, Silas. It was nice meeting you.
Goodbye, Depths, as well, as they all go down. And I'm getting worried for Shakti, because again, his army isn't ideal. He needs to get rid of these Phoenixes. They are dead supply right now. They're not doing that great. When instead he could have more Void Rays or more Zealots, or even a couple more carriers. But here we go. He's moving out again.
Broodlords are finally on the map.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, so many banelings. That's a lot of banelings. And the workers are...
oh god.
I'm surprised he didn't go directly for the Nexus. I thought he had enough for the Nexus. But yeah, 29 workers, 31 workers died over there. I mean, was it a misrally, or did Shakti wanted to get rid of the workers?
I'm sure he feels bad about sending workers to his death and at the same time losing workers at home. He did want to get rid of some workers, but probably not like that. Oh god. But yeah, it does free up some room for supply. Here come the Hydras. Again, Hydras aren't ideal against carriers, but there aren't that many carriers right now.
Yeah, the thing that eGGz has to worry right now are the storms. The storms are going to be the big deal here, and here come the storms over the Broodlords.
That they are. The storms are landing. 2-3 Broodlords already go down. Oh my god, more storms, Jesus.
Yeah, there's still a lot of storm available. Like, I think, is Shakti going to do it? I think he has enough.
He does have enough. All the Hydras go down. They just barely managed to pick off a carrier, which is a big deal, to be fair. But the Broodlords are naked. They're going to go down. And I don't know if I like this. eGGz's response is 38 lings?
Not good, mate. Not good when you have that many Colossi. So
yeah.
Shakti did it in just one big soup and a lot of storms.
And we'll see. The lings, they are coming out. He's going to try and go for a big surround. Is it going to be enough? Can he get on top of the Colossus? The answer is no.
Seems no. The answer is no. The Colossus are alive, which is the part that are doing a lot of damage.
Oh
Look,
my
those
god.
Hydras are just melting over this Colossi. One Colossi finally dies.
Now we have a wave of Corruptors coming in, but there are plenty of Stalkers. Recall is forced to be used. Interesting. Honestly, I think Shakti probably could have stuck around, but Shakti does go back home.
So yeah, at the end of all this brutal fight, we have 136 supply for Shakti, 82 supply for eGGz. eGGz is 10 workers down, so mate, this is... And basically the call of eGGz army got present. He lost everything. Everything important is there. Meanwhile, Shakti is still maintain a couple of Colossus alive, which are going to help a lot in the next engagements. Mate, here comes Shakti for round 2, and I don't think eGGz is ready.
Yeah, the problem is that eGGz, he's going for Lurkers now. Honestly, I think he would have had a better time with Lurkers instead of Broodlords earlier. it's too late at this point. 3 lurkers, a couple of corruptors, the base goes down. Thankfully, eGGz does, he does evacuate the majority of his workers, so he saves some of them, but losing a base like this, it does hurt, and eGGz is going to need a long time to build a big enough army to fight against this. He's trying, though.
Fosures on the chat says Light say he was gonna give me a shout out if I was good, and I was good, but he never gave me one.
He's lying. For sure, this was not good.
There we go, man. You heard him first.
Oh god, the exclamation mark Funada for sure is in the chat. Meanwhile, here we go. Shakti is pushing in towards the bases. There are a lot of lurkers here though, and okay, there is detection, but it looks like Shakti just doesn't have enough to push in.
I mean, to be honest, I would have pushed in. I would have just traded everything. Like, Shakti hasn't enough good economy and good enough army that I think that he could just force his way in.
He probably could. It wouldn't be the best trade for Shakti, but like at this point, you can afford it. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for eGGz. eGGz, his lurker count is getting higher. He just got lurker range as well.
I don't know, mate. The Shakti is a little scary. eGGz now has how many lurkers? 9 lurkers and 5 more on the way.
Shakti's like, I don't want to say he's panicking, but he isn't his response to the lurkers is he's making more Archons, and he made a wave of Immortals as well. Like, mate, you see lurkers like this, mate, Void Rays. Like, just pump out some Void Rays, or anything in the sky. I say Void Rays because there are a couple of Corruptors, but like, if Shakti switched to Skytoss right now, he'd be looking so good. Alright, but here we go.
Become this game ends. And there's a lot of lurkers, but to be honest, there's very little of everything else. So if the lurkers falls, eGGz is not gonna have anything to deal with this. Oh, nice setup from by that. Shakti is going to try on the left side on the map. Meanwhile, this base is gone, mate. The lurkers were not in position, and Shakti has enough time to focus this base.
Yeah, it looks like the base. Oh my god, it should fall, but Shakti doesn't go for it, mate. Right click. That's all you gotta do. It's so close. One of us.
He's finally just going to A move into the army, and he's going to trade really badly, but he's going to trade, but he's not, because there was a sellout run by on the other side of X base, and that was GG.
GG. eGGz, despite the the Baneling bust at the start of the game that dealt a lot of damage, it wasn't enough damage, and Shakti was able to just hang in there. Wow. GG. I honestly thought Shakti was dead when the Bane bust was coming, by the way. Like
yeah, that was an entertaining game, I will say, about this. When 2 players trade blows and then just take up and just for trading more blows. That was an interesting match in the stream.
Definitely.
Plus, I love the many run bys of buildings that eGGz did in this match. They were very entertaining.
Yeah. The Banelings did a lot there for eGGz. Almost won him the game in the beginning. But now we are tied up, and we have to wonder, what does eGGz have in store for us now? Game 1, he went for an unscattered Muta switch. Game 2, he went for an unscattered Baneling bust. Game 3, whatever he does, it's probably going to be unscattered.
Now, Light, as a third player, if you were eGGz, seeing how bad your opponent scouted in the first 2 games, what would you do?
Ooh.
What would you do that is not going to get scouted?
Mate, that's like the Zerg wet dream, Like, if you're like, mate, whatever you do, your opponent's not going to know what you're doing. It's like there's a lot. Right? We can see some Nidus play. We can see like 2-base Muta, you know, we can we can see some fast bird roaches, some queen pushes. On Jagannatha, queen pushes can do very well. So we could see that, to be honest. We'll see.
Wait, queen pushes do really well on this map?
Mate, them speed zones.
Oh right, spins. I forgot. I was just thinking about how long the map is. I was not thinking about those things. But yeah. Welcome everyone to the third map in this best of 2 series. Jagannatha LA. And spawning here, bottom left hand corner of the map, the eGGz gaming player Shakti.
And spawning in the top right hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the Colombian Zerg. He's red, representing CSO Esports. It is eGGz.
So mate, speaking of eGGz gaming, did you see that they got a new player?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Mate. Who's we?
Well, I say we. I mean, I was talking to chat about it. Okay.
Sure. So, chat. You're trying to hide in your problems here now, right?
But yeah, it was interesting because I thought eGGz was primarily a Brazilian team. I guess not. I still don't know what they are. But Chaos Fate.
Yeah, I was not aware of it. In Wikipedia, we were not aware of it, and I talked to Chaos Fate, and I asked him, mate, when did you join? And he was like, 3 or 4 days ago. He just shrugs because he didn't give me a specific date. He just said 3 or 4 days ago.
God damn it, mate.
Shaking my head. I hate it when players do that.
Yeah.
Because, mate, what I put you on Wikipedia, please.
It's very odd. It's one of those things where there are some players like that who just kind of like drift between teams, like whenever, like they don't care. Chaos Fate's one of them. The other one, I don't know if you noticed, Shelby, he doesn't have the Rebirth clan tag anymore.
Yeah.
And so I guess he left Rebirth, maybe, ? I don't know.
Look, I love Latin America. I love my region. But if there's one thing that I really hate Latin America and StarCraft 2, is that the teams are really bad at announcing when players are joining or not.
Yeah. I don't like that either, to be honest.
Yeah, like, why can't you be more like the CranKy Ducklings, you know?
Right? Yo, we make announcements for everything, okay? We make announcements when they join, when they leave, when they rejoin. Oh god. But yeah, it's the only times we find out is when they play in a tournament. It's like, oh hey, he has a different clan tag.
Yeah, you have to ask them actually, you know. Because no one is going to tell you otherwise.
Shaking my head, mate. Shaking my head.
I know. Oh, nice. He sniped the tumor and he gets away.
Yeah.
It was a lovely moment.
There's not too much going on here. Obviously, once again, Shakti with his Stargate opener, and I'm surprised because eGGz has been pretty standard this game.
Yes, now he's focusing more on his economics. He's building more queens. His tour base is at a reasonable time. He's not building like 1 million units, and here comes a large quarter.
Yeah. We'll see when or if he stops making queens, because right now the amount of queens that he has and that he's making is pretty normal to defend against like a Void Ray or 2 Void Rays. The Roach Warren is pretty standard as well, but if he keeps producing them, then he may be looking to go for a Roach Ravager like queen push.
Nice X trying to snipe this base. It's not going to happen. With the extra reinforcements, he just takes an adept and 1 prop and nothing more. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a fairly quick tier base for the Protoss player.
Yeah, it honestly is. I mean, Shakti, he cuts a lot of corners. Like, he barely makes any gateway units, and he just goes straight for the third base. We saw the same thing last game, right? Which almost killed him by how fast that third was. So yeah,
I mean, maybe he was like, survived last game. I could pull it again to this one.
I guess so, and I guess it works for him most of the time. Meanwhile, ooh, we saw a Twilight Council after the Stargate, and look what we have.
Yes, the research for the adepts. What is it called? The glaive something?
Resonating glaives.
Thank you, resonating glaives. So mass adepts is what we're going to see for Shakti this game. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be enough though? Because X went for a Roach Warren in this game instead of any other thing, and does not matter if you have a lot of adepts. If there's enough roaches, your adepts can be easily counted.
Yes, exactly. Like, that's what I'm worried about as well. Especially because when you go for a Twilight Council after a Stargate, it means that your Robo is delayed, your War Prism is delayed as well, so your Adept push isn't anywhere near as strong. It's a little bit unexpected, so it has like a surprise factor, but that's kind of it. And as you said, there are already plenty of roaches, so it's going to be really difficult for this to deal damage. There are still a lot of adepts, and they are on the way. I don't think this has been scouted. I don't think eGGz had any lings in position.
15 adepts on play against 10 roaches only. Mm-hmm. There's quite a few queens as well, so that may help. But we'll see how good Shakti decision making here is. Here it comes.
Yeah, we'll see. Right now, he does take out a couple of roaches. He commits to the shade. Ooh.
Oh, he got trapped. He got trapped in with the queens here.
Oh god, that he did. He is killing the queens, but he hasn't dealt any economic damage. He commits to the shade. Ooh, and he's going to be able to get another queen, but still no drones.
Finally, one drone start to die. And only one drone, but mate, this is 2 drones, 3 drones. That's it. Mm-hmm. So 3 drones and a bunch of queens for 15 adepts light. Do you approve?
No. No, man.
And apparently eGGz is not going to approve either, because now he's going to push with a lot of roaches mates.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm worried about. There's only 1 Void Ray as well. If there were like maybe 4, maybe 5 Void Rays, like I would think that Shakti would be perfectly fine against Roach Ravager. But right now he barely has anything at home. He does have some sentries and some Blink Stalkers, which is great. But yo, eGGz is going for a Nidus.
He smells the bloodlight. He smells the blood. He knows he can do severe damage with this push, and he's going to try to capitalize with that Nidus network.
Mm-hmm. That he is. Meanwhile, the army was scouted by this Oracle, so Shakti knows the position he's in. He's throwing down 1 shield battery. Only 1, man. You need more than that. And yo, he sees a Nidus.
Is he going to try to snipe it? I think he will. Shakti's moving out.
Yeah,
Nidus is going down. He's not going to do anything. Too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah, and you know what? Now Shakti is moving out, so we could end up in a weird base trade scenario, as we do have roaches looking to go into the main base. We could even see a Nidus across the map as well. I don't know if there are enough roaches to fight this many stalkers.
Yeah, especially because they have blink, right? If I recall correctly, yeah, they have blink. So these stalkers very dangerous at the moment. Meanwhile, the Burrow roaches enter Shakti's base.
Yeah, Shakti, he's kind of forced all in at this point. Like, he has to try and end the game with what he has, and now Ravagers are coming in. Oh my god, the Biles are landing.
Yeah, nice Bile. Also, nice force fields by Shakti. So this is a really good fight for both players. The question is who's going to come out on top. Because if Shakti doesn't, he's going to be very behind. He's losing a lot of workers back at home.
Exactly, he's 100% all in, and it looks like eGGz has enough to push away the army, and that could just be the end of the game because Shakti, as you said, just doesn't have anything at home.
Yeah, mate, 24 workers died. Finally, something was warping at home to fight it, but mate, he's also losing the battle here in the middle of the map.
Exactly. And now all these stalkers are gonna go down. The War Prism gets biled.
And GG made eGGz advances to the grand finals.
GG, well played. Wasn't easy, but eGGz, he did make it all the way. Congratulations to everyone who placed their bets, and we have our first finalist.